My name's Zac Dingee. I run a solar sales company that does over $100 million a year. And today, I'm going to talk about and rank the best versions of leads. So that's like door-to-door, cold calling, referrals, inbound leads, marketing leads, all different forms of when a lead comes in, how good is that lead? The majority of our leads have been door-to-door or referrals for the majority of my career. But we've definitely done some other ones, and I've seen people in the company maybe buy leads or do their own marketing, and I want to rank all of them for you today. Number one, I'm going to start off with door-to-door because that's my bread and butter here, and I'm ranking door-to-door leads as an A tier. I don't think it's the best because some of them can be flaky. You have to really be good at door-to-door. But why it's an A tier is because it costs no money. There's no cost of acquisition. It is the best way to go from I'm broke right now to within 60 days have lots of money. Because there's no amount that you can do as much volume as you want. You can get so much contacts for it and learn so fast. It's direct feedback to you. And then you could turn it around so fast. Like if you're knocking a door today, you could be in the house tomorrow and you can sell the deal. So knocking on doors is a very efficient, cost-effective way of selling, and the leads are very good if you're very good at knocking on doors because you're face-to-face. When you're cold calling or marketing, they don't see you as a person. When you're door knocking, they have that human interaction, and that helps big time, obviously, in sales. So door-to-door, A tier. Second version of getting a lead is cold calling. On the phone, over the phone, calling up a list of names, and trying to get someone to set up an appointment with you. I'm listing that as a B tier. I think in almost every industry, going door to door is better, except maybe like insurance. But every other industry, any home-based industry, is way more beneficial to go door to door. So cold calling, it's efficient in the sense of you can go to one place and just make 100 phone calls. But in my experience, door to door, you're going to go probably about 10 to 15 conversations for every one appointment. In cold calling, you're typically going to go about 75 to 100 calls before you get one appointment. So the numbers are drastically different. And I think cold calling, you don't get that human interaction. People are way worse to you on the phone. They're harder to get a hold of, especially as the technology changes. Spam calls get dropped way faster. It's hard to deal with. So I'm ranking cold calling as a B tier. Next lead version is what I'm going to call an inbound lead, meaning they went to your website or they called your phone line directly, your customer service line. This is somebody calling up wanting to come talk to you. I'm ranking this one as an A tier as well. I'm not going to say this is an S tier, but it is very solid lead. This is obviously this is similar to a referral where they're just calling in. They know someone who has the product. They saw your truck. They saw you installing somewhere else. Or someone knocked on the door and then later they want the lead from you, or later they wanted to go solar. So inbound leads are obviously free. They're coming to you and they're great because you can take that lead and you can give it to someone and you can make a sales rep happy or make a person happy by giving them an inbound lead. And the only difficulty why they're not an S tier is because a lot of times these people are shopping and they may be looking for multiple quotes, and that's why they're calling you. So inbound leads are really solid, but a lot of times you can get them shopping and you can have to deal with other products and companies to win the deal. Next one is marketing leads. Different than inbound leads, this is I'm marketing. So I have a Facebook ad running, I have an Instagram ad running, I have my own ads running on a platform on YouTube, whatever the platform is, you're marketing to people. And these ones I'm going to rank as a C tier. I think in the home service industry, this type of marketing is very overrated and costly. When you look at the other avenues you can take of how inexpensive it can be, I think, yes, it has a time and place to do marketing and you have to for brand awareness and other things, and it's fine to do it, but it should not be your main bread and butter. If you do a really good job in a home service industry, you should have a lot of referrals and inbound calls and just regular organic lead flow. I think when you're doing marketing, that means that your business isn't as established yet and you're still trying to market to the consumer that you are a good product. So marketing, leads, and going online and running those kind of ads, I'm going to list as a C tier. They're good, they're okay, but they're nothing really special, and I wouldn't rely on them because they could be very, very costly. The most important part of lead flow and home service business is your customer acquisition cost. If it costs you a lot of money to get a customer, eats into your margin a lot. The less it costs you to get a customer, the more infinite basically your money is. If it costs you $1 to get a customer and you make $1,000, that's a beautiful spread. If it costs you $400 to get a customer and it costs you $1,000, that's not that good of a spread. That's why I rank it as a C tier. Next one is a referral. This is the S tier, the creme de la creme. Everyone knows this if you're in sales. When you get a warm referral, like your insult client puts you in a group chat with their friend, or they send you their number, or you get their number sent to you, any of those versions is the best of the best. I probably have a 99% closing rate on referrals. If you give me a referral, there's almost a guaranteed chance they're going to move forward because they know someone who already used your product. And now the whole trust factor has been eliminated. In sales, the hardest thing you're trying to overcome is trust. You are trying to get them to make sure that they trust you, they trust the company, and they trust the product. When you have a referral, you've destroyed trust or you've overcome already before you get to the house. They trust you, they trust the product, and they trust the company. Those are the big three. Now, all you have to do is go explain it to the homeowner, and they sell. S tier for referral, the best lead you could possibly get. Last one is bought leads. Different than marketing. Bought leads is I'm paying a certain amount, 10 grand, to get a list of 150 leads sent to me. This is common in real estate, in insurance, in solar, where you're buying a list of pre-serviced leads and you're going through that list. I'm ranking this one as the bottom of the list. This is an F tier to me. Yes, can you get leads out of it? Yes, is it possible? But most of the time, these lead lists are being sold off to other people and you're fighting for these deals so you're not going to make a lot of money, or they're not being sold off to other people and they're exclusive and then they cost a lot of money. So I think they're very, very expensive, or they're just beat up leads and they're not great. So that's why I list it as an F tier, because there's so many other avenues you can take. And to encompass this whole video, yes, can you do all of these things? Yeah, you can as a company. But I think we live in the era right now of specialized knowledge and specialized lead flow, marketing, sales. Like, you got to go pick 1 to maybe 3 and have that be your bread and butter and destroy it and get really, really good at that. And then you can start to have these other lead flows. The majority of our business for 7 years now has been referrals and door knocking. Yes, do we get inbound leads? Yes, is there marketing? Yes, do we sometimes buy leads? We all do that. But the majority of our business is 2 things. And those 2 things are what we focus on heavy. How do I knock on a door and sell a deal? And how do I take that customer and turn it into 3 more deals with getting referrals? That is the most cost-effective and most efficient way to do it. And so we have mastered that. For your business, maybe that exact strategy doesn't work, but picking 7 of them also doesn't work. Pick 1 to 3, get really, really good at those. Once you've mastered those sports and those games, then you can start playing in the other games and using those for lead flow. They all have their pros and cons, but that is my tier list of best to worst, which ones I would recommend for you. And if you disagree, I'd love to hear it in the comment. Let me know what business you're in and what you do for your sales. And if not, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.